Hello everyone, this is Hoda Ganji. In this practice, we are going to model a tourist and skiing area in Revit as per this sketch. So it's located in or close to a mountain lake at a high altitude. So that makes it very interesting because we can have an observation deck towards the lake. So to give you some idea about how it's gonna look like, we have an observation deck here and it looks towards the lake. This render is in Twinmotion linked to Revit, and this is the actual tourist and skiing lodge area. You see the interior is not designed yet, and here is one view from the outside. Okay, so let's create this in Revit. So we put the steps here so it would make it a little bit more straightforward. First, we're gonna insert the AutoCAD file. Let's check the units first. The unit space length is meters 3 decimal places, so that's good. I'm gonna go maybe to the site view. Under insert or import CAD. Actually, I want to import my CAD file. So there is something about this AutoCAD file, which is it's in 3D, and we're gonna make the topography based on the actual 3D file. That means make sure that you do not check the box for current view only. If you check this box, in this specific case, because the AutoCAD file is 3D, it's not gonna let us to make a topography out of it. So I'm not gonna check this. I might go with black and white. Auto detect is good for the units, and I'm gonna go with manual origin. So check my settings, that's good, open, and I want to locate it somewhere around here. Next, we're gonna model property lines in Revit. There is actually some property lines on the AutoCAD file, so that makes it very easy. Going to massing and site property line, continue by sketching. It says the work plane cannot be used, so let's set the work plane. It just doesn't know on which level it should set the topography and the property line. So I'm gonna go with architecture, set. For the plane name, for the work plane, I'm gonna go with level 1. Okay. Then under massing and site property line, continue or create by sketching. This is gonna work now. Let's pick the lines, hover the mouse around here, hit tab, select it, hit tab. When you hit tab once, it's going to select all the lines at once. Check the box and that's it. So now even if we hide, if I type HH for instance, if we hide the DWG file, this is a property line in Revit. So I'm going to reset my hide, and then we're going to take care of this project north. See that there is 1 degree difference between our true north and project north. So in my site view, you see orientation is set to project north. Now under manage, I want to go with location, and now I can rotate project north. This should be on project north, so this option works. Align with a selected line, I want to align it with this line. Okay, now see what happened. Our true north and project north are different by 1 degree. And with that, the property line that we created also rotates by 1 degree because it's all about project north now. Next, we're gonna create the topography. I'm gonna go with massing and site, topo surface, create from import, select import instance. Now I'm gonna select this DWG file. It's asking based on which layers do you want to create it. That's a good question. So probably it's based on the lines or topo major, topo minor, and that's it. But let me double check. I want to open the DWG file. Okay, now I'm gonna see and check the layers. So I want these lines, which is in C topo minor, and C topo major. So that's the only 2 layers. If I just open my layers here just to see what is which. So this one we don't want. This one we don't want. This one we don't need. I don't think so. And this one we don't want either. Just actually the major and minor lines. That's it. So going back to Revit, for this I want to check none and only select C topo major, C topo minor. That's all okay, and finish it. Now let's look at it in 3D or something, so you see that the topography is created. So I'm gonna go back to the site view. Now we see the topography already has the information about the height and everything. That makes our job very easy. So I'm gonna go maybe to site view, and we need a section, like a cross section, because I want to see something like this section here, so I know what's the best base project level for the heights, right? So how about I go with view, a section, maybe a section like this should help. It says it's not visible in this view. I'm gonna type VG or visibility graphic, and I wanna see under annotation categories if section is on. Actually, section for whatever reason it's off. I want to turn it on and hit OK. Now we see the section. Maybe I want to see it the other way, so I'm going to flip it, and maybe we can extend this a little bit like this. I'm going to go to my section 1. Okay, that's good. So now to have an idea, how about I put my site and section 1 side by side using WT. So this is our section. I can also limit it to this part. And I want level 1 not to be here, but to be somewhere closer to the center, or to a higher height here, right? So if I just see how much it is from here till around here, it says 4.26. Okay, so if I move my project base by about 4.2 or 4 or 5 meters, or maybe 3.5, something like that, that should give me a better project base point. So I'm gonna go back to WT again in my site view. So I'm gonna try and change this elevation from 636 to, let's say, 642, and our units is on meters, so it's gonna move 6 meters up. Okay, so now this is 642. Okay, if you want, you can do that for the survey point too, which if you hover the mouse here, hit tab, we can select a survey point and remove the clip, and then I can change this to 642 as well, for instance. Okay, now because we changed that, our level 1 instead of 0 is at -6, -6, so I can move this level 1. If I hit tab here, this one, I want to move it up by 6 meters, 4, 5, and 6. Now maybe it's a little bit too up, too high. Somewhere around a little bit lower, if I hit tab again, I want to move this, let me see, by about 2 meters lower. Somewhere around here, it gives me a better base. Why? Because then my level 1 would be around here, and the ratio between cut and fill of the topography would be minimum, right? So I want to go back here. I want to change it 2 meters lower, so I'm gonna go with 640, and I want to hit tab. Also change my survey point elevation to 640 meters above sea level, that it means. And this is now level 1 at 0. It all looks good. We can also go back and change this later if we need to. Okay, now this seems good. I want to go back to our sketch. Let's say all our design is based on this nice sketch here. Now I'm gonna create maybe the spans here. How about I go and continuing from here where I want to set the grids, I want to go to level 1. I want to hit TW, and maybe I can close inactive views. Okay, we still have our DWG file here. I can click on it. In level 1, I can, for now, I'm going to just type HH and hide it. The rest of it is all our Revit stuff. So, this sketch is actually 90 degrees rotated the other way, but that's okay. So it seems that for the main area, we have a span of 10 meters at the middle and a span of 10 meters on this end too. So I want to go with spans of 5, 1, 5, 2, 3, 4 5s, then 1 10, and then 1, 2, 3, 5 meters. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 10, 5, 5, 5, right? So let's try it. I want to go with architecture, and our grid should be here, or GR, and how about I draw one going from bottom to top, so it's gonna put the grid at the top. So that's good. How about I go with GR? I want to pick the first one and go with 5 units offset. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, which gives me 3 spans, one more. Then I'm gonna offset this one by 10, and this area is gonna be the main part of the lodge, and 1, 2, 3. So it's 4 spans of 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, 10, 3 5s. And it's gonna look like the sketch here. 1, 2, 3, 4 5s, a 10, and 3 5s. That's good. We can, of course, move them in a little bit, but how about I draw the other sets of grid as well, which is these ones. Actually, I have 1 5 meter or more for the deck, maybe a little bit more, like 7. So how about I just draw this one, and the rest of it I'm going to consider an overhang. So I'll go with one span of 5, 5, 10, and 5. So on this other end, I want to go with grid again. Let's say we go from this side going this way, 1 5, 1 10, 2 5. So I'm gonna go with 1. Actually, I want to draw from left to right to left. Maybe I would like to change this to A. GR again, pick this one, and I want to go with 1 span of 5, 1 span of 10, and 2 spans of 5 and 5. That's good. That's good. Okay. Now, maybe just in order to have more room for the pathways that we need and everything, I want to select one of these grids, right click, and I want to say select all instances in entire project. I want to move it using arrow keys to the right and a little bit lower. So the main part of the building is gonna be within the grids here. Okay, so if I get some quick overall dimensions, you see from here to here is 45 meters. From here to here it's 25, and I might have an overhang here between grid D and E. Here we're gonna have the observation deck with 1 or 2 meters of overhang. So that 45 meters is what you see here on the sketch as 45. Design tourist lodge and observation deck using the best practice. Before that, how about I create 2 levels, right? So far in level 1, I want to consider the base of the lodge here. Maybe 3 meters lower, we can have the observation deck, and maybe I can also consider 3 meters here for the roof plane. And of course, we can change this later. So I'm gonna go to my section so I can create some levels. I want to select this level, right click. I'm gonna say maximize 3D extend so it goes outside. Select it, Actually, I want to also type here LL. LL is for shortcut for levels. Let's say we want to have it, I type 3 here. I pick the level 1 3 meters up, 1 3 meters lower. So this one on the top, I want to name it roof plate. Maybe I change the value later from 3 meters. I might make it a little bit more or higher. And this one where it says level 4, instead of level 4, I want to mention that it's my observation deck level. So how about, I'm thinking I say here that this is the deck. That would be easy. Okay, so I have level 1 deck, observation deck 3 meters lower, and roof plate a little bit higher. And now you see we start seeing our grids here. I want to select it, move it a little bit, the bottom of it. I want to move this blue, actually this part, I want to move it down a little bit, and I want to move it up a little bit. So it means that the main part of the design is gonna be here, and the observation deck is here. Actually, I need to move everything a little bit higher now. If I put the two views side by side, and I can go with reset here. So why do I need to move all my levels and project base higher? Because between grid B and C, which is the main area, I want to have the minimum amount of excavation around my level 1. Now you see there is a lot of excavation here. Compare it with the section here. Something like this dash line is where we want the soil level to be. So instead of level 1 here, if we want to minimize our excavation, I might want to move my level 1. I'm thinking by about 1.5 meters or 2 meters higher. So let's say these 3 levels, I want to select them all and move it up by, let's say, 2 meters. Now this is a better location for my level 1, right, according to this section. And we always want level 1 to be at 0. That makes more sense. So it means I need to go to my site level. So I want to go here instead of 640. If I move this to 642, as soon as I put 642 instead of 640, that level 1, instead of being at 2 meters, is going to be at 0. That's what we want. That's now better. Also for the survey point, I want to have the same value, which is 642 meters above sea level is going to be where our level 1 is. Now it's going to work all better. I'm happy with the settings. I'm going to go back to my design. So where here it says create the large area and observation deck using the best practices, I believe the best practice is using mass, conceptual mass. So I want to use conceptual mass, and in main level we're gonna have an overall area for the lodge. We'll get to here, and for the deck it's gonna be between 250 to 300 square meters. Okay, where we had grid B and C, we're gonna have this span, and I want to move one span up, one span down over here, and 5 meters over there. Okay, so how about I go with TW here, and I want to go with massing and site, conceptual mass or in place mass. What do I have? I want to have a lodging area. So I want to name my mass 1 to be actually lodge. For the lodge, I want to maybe, I can pick or draw the line. So this is the main part, the main lodge area. I want to go one span up, going to this side, over here, over here, over here, and finally here. This is the T-shaped building, and I want to say create a solid form out of it. Let's see. I want to select this T shape that we draw, create form, solid form. That's good. Finish the mass. So that's going to be the large area. If we see it in section, let's see. In section, I'm going to type VG or double V and go to mass. You see mass is hidden. I want to check the box so it's not hidden. And in level 1, this is our mass. In section 1, now we see the mass. That is the mass. I want to either now or later change this to fine level of details. Okay, so that is the mass. In level 1, that's the mass. The main area is a 10 by 10 span here and going one span each side. That's basically what this sketch is referring to. We also need to know the observation deck, and this asks that the observation deck area to be between 250 to 300 square meters. What is the observation deck? This here is the observation deck, and this is the large area. That's what we're gonna get, hopefully. So going to here, from this part to that part is 45, and this span here is 5 meters, right? So I'm just gonna see 45 by 5 is 225, so it's not enough. So what if I consider 1 or 2 meters of overhang? So instead of 45 by 5, I'm gonna have 45 by 6, 270, or 45 by 7. I'm gonna go with 45 by 6, which is 1 meter overhang here. So where we have grid E, I want to go with a reference plane RP. I want to pick this line and offset it by 1 meter. One click on the bottom of it, and this is our overhang for the deck. So if here is the building, the stairs are gonna be here, the deck is gonna be this whole area. Maybe for this one, instead of level 1, for the second mass, I can go to the deck level and I can create the mass here. So I want to go with massing and site, in place mass, deck area, and I can draw the deck area, which is this whole area. 45 by 6, that's good. Hit escape, select the whole area, create form, solid form, finish mass, and this is the whole building. Just to make sure we have done everything good so far, I want to go with my schedules and quantities, new one. What is it? A mass schedule. Actually, mass floor schedule is what I want. I want to know how many masses do I have, so count goes there. I want to know what level they're located in, and I want to know what is the mass type maybe, as well as what is floor area, and finish this. Let's see. It didn't put the masses here, so let's make it sure that we have everything here. I want to go with filter. I want to go with sorting grouping, grand totals, and also under formatting, I want to know the total floor area. Actually, the reason it's empty, calculate totals, okay, is that I have not assigned mass floor yet. So I want to click on each of the masses, go with mass floor. For this one, I just want to have a floor in the deck level. Okay, for this other one, I want to have a mass floor in level 1 level. Now, if I go to mass floor schedule, you see that we have 2 masses. How about I move level 1 up? So I want to go with sorting grouping, and I want to say that sort them based on level. Sort them based on level going descending, so that one moves up. Level 1, on level 1 we have large, which is 250 square meters. On the deck we have On the deck level, we have the deck mass, which is 270, which is within the project requirements. Now that I look at the project requirements, it seems that our building area should be around 300. Ours is 250, so I need to make it a little bit larger. So let's take a look at level 1. This is the mass area. I want to close other views here. Hit T, WT. So my level 1 and my mass floor schedule is here. This 250 needs to be around 300. So I want to go back here, and I'm thinking maybe around this area. If you see in the sketch, in that area we have 2 washrooms, male and female, and then we have an opening. So I'm thinking maybe it's better to have a little bit more room here. So this span, which is 5 meters, I'm going to suggest that we go with 6 meters instead. So for this one, I'm going to change this span to 6 meters going up, and then I want to move this so it goes till there. And make sure to save your file frequently. I want to save the file. So just to give an idea how it's going to look like at the end, this is what it's supposed to look like. That's the lodge area. This is the deck area. If I hide the roof, HC, hide category, we have the washrooms there, one opening there, and this is basically how it's going to look like. I'm going to go back to our projects, and I want to bring my mass schedule back, WT, mass floor schedule. And here, now that I look at it, on this end, which is towards the lake and towards the lake is almost in the northwest part, I want to have a larger area here, so I want to move this whole mass to kind of lock it to grid number 3. So now it's 310. That should be a little bit better. Here it says GFA approximately be 300 ground floor area, but it cannot exceed 300. So now our area is 310. The other one is okay. The deck is between 250 and 300, but this 310 should be 300. So I change this part. If I get some dimension, I think a span of 6 meters are needed there, so I'm gonna keep it. And on this end, let's take a look. These are my spans. Can move this one up. So maybe on this end, this span is good, but I want to go with maybe 4.5 here. So I want to grab these 3 grids, 1, 2, 3, and I want to move them 0.5 meter to this side. And if I move this and lock it to grid 3, now it's 305. It's getting a little bit better. And this other mass should also, I want to lock it here. That's 267. Maybe this other grid here, I'll also want this one to be 4.5. So I want to grab these 3 grids, move them by 0.5 meter. And I want to lock this side of the mass. I want to move this to this grid. Now I can lock it, and this one. If it doesn't allow you to move it, unlock the mass, then move it, then you can lock it again. Now we have one mass here, one mass over there. This one is 300 square meters, that's good. The other one is 264, which is between 250 and 300. So all is good. I can close this one. So considering the area and the overall design, it seems okay. The rest of it we can follow with creating the actual architectural elements, the walls, floors, roof, and so on. I'm gonna stop here. Eventually what we're gonna see is a design like this. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe for more videos.